Okay, here we are with our third example on this solving radical expressions. And this tends to be, if you have two radicals like this, it tends to get quite difficult. So what you want to do, first of all, is isolate one of the radicals by itself. So I'm going to move this one over here so it becomes positive. And then I'm going to subtract 1 on this side. Now I have to square both sides. Okay, now that I'm squaring both sides, this just becomes 3x plus 3. This is where the fun begins. Okay, the square of this is just 6x plus 7. The middle term is going to be 1 times this times 2, twice that. So this is going to end up being, and it's negative, so it's negative 2 root 6x plus 7. We're just doing a binomial squared plus 1 out here. And that's equal to this stuff. So now that we're there, we can now move everything over, all the variables and all the numbers over to the right side, and leave this remaining radical on the left. So I'm going to, let me just simplify it. 6x plus 8 minus 2 times the root of 6x plus 7 equals 3x plus 3. So I'm going to bring all of this stuff over. So I'm going to still have this negative 2, 6x plus 7 here. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Okay, so now if I want to eliminate and try to eliminate this, I have to eliminate this 2 here. So let's just go back and do a quick check, see if I didn't make sure I did this okay. Okay, plus 1 there, plus 8, that's okay. Subtracting 8 from 3 is negative 5. 6x plus 7, subtracting from there, good. Just a little leery there, so we'll have to divide by 2 on both sides, so negative 2 on both sides. So this is going to become 3x over 2 plus 5 halves. Okay, so now if I want to square both sides, so this is going to, I'm going to change this into 3 halves x so that it's out there, plus 5 halves all squared. So I'm going to do that now, 6x plus 7. Now squaring this would be equal to 9 over 4x squared. And the middle term would be the multiplication of these two together times 2. So that would be 15 over 4x times 2, which would be 30 over 4x. And the square of that. Okay, so that's really quite nice. So we got all 4's there, so I'm going to multiply everything by 4 to eliminate the 4's. So that it makes it a little easier for us to operate and get our quadratic formula here now. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to move these over here. by subtracting 24x and subtracting 28x. So subtracting 24x, I get 6x on that side here. Subtracting 28, I get negative 3, and that's equal to 0. So there we are. Well, I can take out a common factor there, and maybe it'll work out for me. Or I can go into the quadratic formula and try to figure it out using the quadratic formula. I think I'm going to go with the quadratic formula. A equals 9, B equals 6, and C equals negative 3. So negative B plus or minus 6 squared minus 4 times 9 times negative 3 all over 2 times 9. Okay, so let's work that out. Negative 6 plus or minus, and here we have 4 times 9 times 3. That's 2 negatives there, so that's going to become positive. So that works out to 144, which is nice, because that's a perfect square. So this is going to be negative 6 plus or minus, better check my field of view, make sure I'm still in there. Yep. Plus or minus 12 over 18. So it's going to be, if we do negative 6 plus a 12, that would be 6 over 18, which would equal 1/3. Or if we do a negative and a negative, negative 6 and negative 12, that's negative 18 over 18. Sorry, that's not a negative there. And that's negative 1. So there's our two possible answers. And that's an example that of using solving radicals. And that concludes our chapter 5 problems. And we'll be looking at probably chapter 7 next, and then getting back to chapter 6 in our second set of tutorials.